Well, good afternoon. So I'm upgrading my wood storage shed. This is what I used last winter and the winter before. This is called Shelter Logic. You can buy these things in Canada at Canadian Tire, and probably in the States you can get them at Home Depot. I know I can buy them at Home Depot, or I can buy them at Lowe's. But this is what I used for my wood shed last winter. It actually worked out very well for me. I went and aligned the sides of it with 7/16" OSB. And in here I was able to put about 12 face cord of wood. It worked out really, really well. The only problem is it's sort of a tight area to get into, right there by the house, and it's just a tight spot. So what I'm doing is I'm upgrading, and now I'm making a new shed for my firewood for this winter. I'm going to be using this just basically for storage now. It's going to be like a little storage shed for me. So let's take a look, see what my plan is, and I'll show you my my new wood shed that I'm working on. So this is my new wood shed I'm building. So what's that, you say? It's the exact same as what I had? Yes and no. I'll show you the difference between this one and the last one. And there it is. There's my OSB to line the walls. But there's a major difference. And what the difference is that I'm putting two of them together. What that's going to mean is that I can put in twice the wood, and I've got somewhere to even park my trailer that's loaded with wood. So there we have what I'm doing. I'm going to be working on it this evening. Now, one of these sheds, what they have is they have a front door, and they have a complete closed-in panel for the back. What I've decided to do, I can put the front door on from this one, not put the back panel on. Then on the other shed, I'm going to put a front door over there with no back panel, and I'm going to join them together. So what I'm going to end up with is I'm going to end up with a 40-foot long wood shed, which can easily give me 25 face cord of wood in there plus my trailer. So that's what the plan is. And the reason I've chose to do this is because I got a lot more space up here. I got lots of room for cutting and splitting my wood. And it's just going to be a lot more convenient for me. Well, it's going to be a fairly big wood shed. And I'm sure you've seen the videos, what happens when you don't tie things down. So, in this woodshed kit, we've got 4 of these. And what the plan is, they screw these into the ground to hold it down. So this is maybe a foot long. You screw these into the ground to hold it down. You've seen what happens when things don't get held down, especially during the wind. And so, yeah. But as an alternative, and it costs a little bit more, it's quite a bit longer, this is what I'm choosing to do. You fasten this onto the leg, then you pound it into the ground. Use a sledgehammer and this pipe. And the pipe goes into it, like so. Then you pound it in the ground. When you're done pounding it in the ground, just pull the pipe out. Now the thing about this that's nice, when this thing goes into the ground, and it's sitting down there in the ground like that, and when the wind gets a hold of this shelter and pulls it, see what's happening? And this thing will hold. If it was just like this, then it would come right back out of the ground. But once you pound it in the ground, it just sort of sits there in the ground. And then when the wind does start pulling on the shelter, it'll yank this thing and it'd be like an anchor. Yeah, you're looking at around $32 for this. Put one in each corner, but it's gonna be a lot better than those anchors. You just get this thing and you wrap it around this corner post like so. Now this corner is solid. The whole thing's still moving. That's because I don't tighten up everything until after I get the roof on. But this corner is now solid. So I do the same thing with all four corners. So there's my woodshed done. Now, if you notice, I've got space on this side, and I've got space on the other side also. The reason I have space on both sides is so that I can clear the snow off the roof, and I can go down the side of this shelter with my snow blower, which is going to make it so that the roof will last a lot longer, the tarps will last a lot longer. Lots of times you see these shelters and the tarps are all wrecked. That's because the snow needs to come off the roof. So this allows me to get the snow off and allows me to get the snow cleaned up. Let's take a look inside. Okay, there's the inside done. Turned out quite well. I'm pleased with the end results. Probably not too many people would do this, but for me, I've done it for 2 winters and it's worked out perfect. So I thought, let's expand it. Let's build a new shelter and let's make this thing work. So I've put OSB down the side walls to protect the sides from the wood. There's no way you can put wood in here and expect this shelter to last if you don't put something along the walls to protect the tarp. So that's what I've done. A couple of things. One thing is, they say you shouldn't put pressure treated wood on the ground. But for me and my age, I figured I'm going to do it anyways because it's going to outlast me anyways. So if you see, I've got 2x4s by 10 going across. That was just to help secure everything nice and straight and make sure it stays the way I want it. Now, I may cut these out in time, or I may just build the gravel up around them. Over here, if you see, I've got the legs strapped down, and I've also got in there, you'll see those ties that I had that I was pounding in the ground. On 2 of the legs I've got them. On the outside 2 legs I got them as well at the ends. So there, that's the inside. And I'm going to fill this thing up with wood. And what the convenience is going to be is that as I'm cutting and splitting wood and I'm bringing it in here and I'm filling it up, with the other shelter I had, I only had a front door, which meant that the wood went in, and then if I didn't use it all, the wood at the end was seasoned, but I couldn't use it because I'd be filling it back up with wood again. So here now I can put wood in from either end, and I can pull it out from either end, which means I can just fill this thing as full as I want, and I'll have good seasoned wood. So that's what I've got, and 40 feet long, so I got lots of room. I can park my little trailer in here. When I want wood, I just come in, grab it, and go to the house and dump it off. Now, if you should decide to build one of these for your off-grid home, these things can be quite expensive. This shelter here, I bought 2 shelters and basically just put them together. I took the front door from the one shelter and put it at the end. I put the front door from the other shelter at the other end. And so the back 2 panels, I don't use them, but now I have a clear run to go right straight through this thing, and I have 40 feet of space. It took me some planning how I was going to connect them. I'll let you see what I've done here. I put an eye bolt down there. Instead of fastening that to the leg, I put an eye bolt out, and then it goes up. And there's your 2 end pieces. This shelter here goes over top of this, into this, and then down. This shelter comes right across the whole works. And it actually worked out quite well for me. Let's take a look inside, and I'll show you how it looks from the inside. So this shelter here comes across here. Normally would come in like this, and this shelter would come across and go like this, but then it'd have a big space. So I took this shelter all the way over to this one, and then the back shelter came across all the way over top of this one. And what I did was, when I tightened up this, I left it loose so that when this shelter comes across, it'll snug right in nice and tight. And then after it snugged in, then I went and tightened up the wall for this shelter. If you buy one of these and you put 2 together, you understand when you look at the instructions exactly what I did. So there it is. I could have made these walls thicker. This is 7/16 OSB. I could have made them thicker, but I figured this would probably be good for a few years. And what I did with these is I've got 2x4s by 10, double thick on the ground, staggered the seams for them. And so then the OSB, I was able to nail it, or not nail it, screw it every few feet. And then as far as holding up to the top here, I just grabbed some wire, wired it here, wired it. So for each shelter, I've got six sheets of OSB overlapping. 3 on this side, 3 on the other side, same for the other shelter. Now, I chose to put my centerpiece of OSB on first, and then each end, and that way it's easier to do some adjustments if I have to. All I have to do is untie the wire, pull out a few screws. If this wall starts to sag and I need to stretch, I need to tighten it up, then it's quite easy to tighten it up. Now, of course, if it's full of wood, I can't do too much. So I wanted to make sure I did a really good job of tightening it in the first place. So it took me a couple of attempts to do it because it's designed differently at the ends here. What I did was I had this tightened up, and then I went down to the other end and tightened it up, and my overhang went right down because I had too much tarp. So I had to loosen that side all up. Then I had to come back to this side, and I had to get this tarp that only came over to about here. It came across and came to about there. I had to just pull it, just keep pulling it and pull it as far as I can. And then I tightened this up really, really well. And then by the time I did that, I was able to go back to the other end and pull it and tighten it. And then I got a nice snug wall. So it worked out really well. I'm really pleased with it. Like I say, the other shelter up by the house was 20 feet long with a back wall, and it had OSB all the way around the sides. And I used that for 2 years with wood, and it's still in really good shape. But it's just a tight spot to get into because of the addition on the house. So that's why I've chose to go this route. Now, if you decide you want to try this, and it did work out quite well, these shelters can be quite expensive. Wait for them to come on sale. They come on sale all the time. These things are always coming on sale. So just wait for it to come on sale and then do it. Make sure it's rectangular when you're building it, because if you get off at all, then you have a terrible time putting these things together. And that's why I chose to do my framing on the ground first. I want to make sure this thing's straight, stays still, doesn't go anywhere. Every one of these legs that came down, I put a screw at the bottom, right into the wood. So what they say is, they say build it, leave all the bolts loose, build it, put it together, and then there's cross pieces down at the bottom that you go across. Put those pieces on. Once they're on, because this leg's going to be sitting here maybe like this, maybe like this. But once you put those bottom pieces on, that makes that leg straight. Once that leg is straight, then screw it right into that wood. This thing's not going to go anywhere. It's good. It's solid. Like I say, wait for them to come on sale. I've got invested into this thing. I've got about $1,800. Now, to build a wood shed, 12 feet by 40 feet, $1,800 would never ever do it if you were building it out of wood. But for me, this is done right, done securely. I'm going to get lots of life out of it. And if I should decide down the road that I don't want it here, it'd take me a little bit of work, but I could tear this whole thing apart and move it. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope this video was educational for you. And we'll talk to you in the next video.